All right, it's about 4:45 right now. Just loading up, about ready to roll out to hit Borrego. First contest ever. Here we go.
Hey, my name is Rick Surratt, and I'm a private pilot out of Los Angeles. Come along as I work to stay proficient and explore life beyond the PPL.
We made it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got AJ with us again. As you know, we've been trying to do the aerobatic competition thing. We've been kind of slowly building back up. 2021 is upon us, so things are finally less restricted and open up. Before we hit our first competition, though, we really wanted to come and just volunteer and check it all out. So literally sent an email to the Hammerhead Roundup. The guy was super cool, responded in like an hour, said, yeah, cruise on out, check it out. So we're here. Come along for the ride, guys. Pretty much what I've understood is, right, you got primary, sportsman, intermediate, advanced, then unlimited. And for primary, you just fly a known sequence 3 times. In the sportsman category, you fly the known sequence 3 times as well, and you have the option of doing one free, which is of your own designs, but that's optional. Or if you just want to do the known 3 times, you just do the known 3 times. Once you get intermediate and above, then you start off, you fly one known, then you do your own free, which is again of your own design. And then for the third one, you do an unknown, which in this case, they gave them 24 hours before. So you only have 24 hours to look at it. You never get to practice it. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like 20-something knots right now. They're kind of talking about maybe not continuing it. We're gonna see what happens. My hair's awesome, but figured it's a good chance to show you around, so come on. All right, so we're over here at like kind of the startup shutdown area. So the idea is that nobody is spinning their prop in like the main area. That you come over to this line right behind us. They fire their engine and then they're taxiing down to the far end, obviously take the runway. But then when they come back, they shut down right here too. So there's no active movement in here, no propeller spinning, nothing like that once they pass the cone. So it's a really smart way to do it. Everybody's kind of safe and out there. All right, guys, so this is like the judging area right behind us. You can kind of see all these blue tents. Basically, each one of these is a judging station, and Alex, or AJ, and I are each gonna go to a station. I think I'm gonna be with the chief judge. He's gonna be with judge number, I think it was 4.
Well, he's number one. You have the chief judge, I think, but he's just more like coordinating.
Basically, I think I'm collecting all the score sheets and just making sure everything's filled out right, just verifying it. Basically, they're just putting us to work.
Okay, I'm at altitude.
Okay, Susan, this is the chief judge. The box is yours.
Box is mine, please.
Full half loop.
So what's happening here is AJ is reading out the figures as the pilot in the air is flying them. So the guy in the middle, Brian, he's the judge. The idea is that his eyes never come off the plane in the air. So, but he's also dictating his notes to the other volunteer on the other side. So basically the 3 of them are working together to score this and kind of stay half a step ahead of the pilot flying the figures. Okay, so while AJ was over with judge number 1, it was my turn at the chief judge's table. Basically, same thing going on over here, except at the end of the flight, all the scorecards are collected by one of the volunteer runners, brought over, he takes a look at them, and I take a look at them. I was just verifying simply that it was filled out all the way, that there was a presentation score in there from each judge, as well as no discrepancies between zeros, averages, and hard zeros. Just kind of making sure everything was complete. And then if there was a discrepancy and a conference needed to be called, the chief judge would call it. All the judges would get together, amend what needed to be amended, and then go on with the flights. Okay, so one of the things I didn't really understand until I got there was, what do you do once you take off? Where do you go hold? How do you enter the box? Where do you enter the box? What's the sequencing like? Okay, so it was a little tricky to show from the ground, but wanted to take a second and just kind of show you on an overhead here real quick. So got Borrego Valley Airport here, as you can see.
this is about where the start-stop line was, and then this median right here was where the judge stations were. Just to the north of the field, though, you can see all these white marks on the ground, and this is actually the aerobatic box. It's permanently there thanks to the local IAC chapter, which is awesome. So that circle right there represents the northwest corner boundary judge. This is center box right here, and then down here is the southeast boundary judge. Most of the day, winds were favoring 2-6, so contestants would start up here, they'd taxi down, do their run up, and then enter 2-6, take off like normal, come up here, hook your crosswind to the south side of the field. So now you're hanging out in the south side of the field on Unicom, not on the box frequency, and you're watching out for VFR traffic, but also you're watching for the contestant in front of you or ahead of you that's in the box. So you can see them wag out, at which point you flip over to box frequency. And the only talking you're doing on box frequency is when the chief judge clears you into the box. He'll make sure that you're at altitude. Whenever you're ready, he'll clear you in. You come in, you can cross over. Most people were turning their base leg outside of the box and then diving in, and then do your wing wag, line up your sequence over center box depending on what sequence you're doing. At that point, you run your sequence. When you're done, you come out of the box. You can kind of turn it here. Everybody was doing it a little different. But the principle was that you're lining up back on the south side of the field, flipping back over to Unicom, landing like normal. You're staying out of the box. There was no traffic on the north side. So that's that. Kind of tricky until you see it all laid out, but then once you see it, it's pretty straightforward. So hope that helps.
All right, here I am at the northwest corner of the aerobatic box, acting as a voluntary boundary judge. So I'm using this contraption here. It pretty much allows me to look down the most western boundary and the northern boundary, and from there I can judge whether or not one of the competitors goes out of bounds, and then we can mark it on their score sheet, and they'll get a downgrade in their score if they do go outside of the box. So this is it's pretty cool. Got my little radio here, so they're gonna call me after a sequence is done. I'll radio back whether or not they went out, how many times, what figure they did it on. So first time doing this, but I guess they trust me with it, and hopefully I don't mess it up too bad, but should be pretty straightforward with this little sighting gauge.
So here's like where they post all the scores for everybody to come check out after each round. As you can tell, it's not very like cinched down. Like you're able to walk up to all the planes, you can talk to all the pilots, you can really see what's going on. The judges and all the staff have been super cool about like just giving us information and tips and tricks and what to expect and what not to expect. It's way nicer than I expected. Everybody said it was nice, but there's just a vibe here where they want you to come play.
Yeah, I don't have the sequence card with me, so I don't know if he's doing it right, but I'm just gonna say, yeah, look, that looks right.
All right, so that's the end of the Hammerhead Roundup, our first competition that we've come and volunteered at. So what'd you think, man?
It was great, man. I learned a lot going out and sitting, being a line judge, and then helping them, just calling out the maneuvers, being the judge's assistant really gave me a much clearer picture of like how a contest is run, how it's judged. I'm really glad we did this because now that I know how it runs and how it works, I think for our first contest, I think we'll go in knowing.
I think we're ready.
How it's gonna work.
Yeah, it's there was a lot of unanswered questions about like box entry and just kind of how it works and take off and then you go hold and then you come into the box. It's all super smooth. These guys got this dialed and they're willing to answer like any question you got, which is rad.
Yeah, everybody was really nice.
Open arms. They'll tell you secrets. They'll tell you pointers, what to do, what not to do, all that kind of stuff. So if you're thinking about checking out your first contest, volunteer, come check it out. It's a great way to take the pressure off and just come see what it's all about. So
highly recommended.
See you on the next one, guys.